And good afternoon there, YouTube. Happy 4th of July for all those watching here. It's a little early for me to be 4th of July, but I'm going to make this video go live. Looks like 4th of July. So for those of you with your friends and your family and you're out there, make sure you're staying safe, be responsible, and have a good time. Enjoy the day off, because I know I am. I can tell you that for sure. But anyway, the reason why I'm making this YouTube video is this interesting case here. This is actually part of another find that I posted earlier in regards to that siren box. This is the second thing that I actually located. Then you want to take a guess as to what it is. Looks to me like a sewing machine. So maybe I'll just change the theme of my YouTube videos here to sewing machines, because I think we actually have a sewing machine like this. Didn't bother to go looking for it. The missus will probably kick me if I try. So anyway, here we go. So this is not a sewing machine, obviously. This is actually a federal demonstrator for a Visibeam. It's a federal Visibeam. Older, I think there's a first generation A1. It's got the control box, the lamp itself, and it actually is set up to run off of, as you can see here, 120 volt power. Let's see if we can actually get a picture. Bear with me a moment. One-handed here, me and my awesomeness, of the front of the tag. So there we go. Federal Visibeam, Blue Island, Illinois, model SL, 12 volts, Series A1. So it is definitely a first generation Visibeam. The control box is pretty much new. I mean, this was never installed in anything. I know that it was used as a demonstrator. I have the history as to what this was for. This would be something that you would have seen brought out to conventions, or if they were going, salesmen were going out to demo specific units or specific technologies like this. So let's talk about this real brief. I know other people out there have these. I've seen these. It's actually quite neat. I never really thought that one of these would end up, at least within my possession. So this is one of those rarer and neater finds that you find if you talk to enough people. Stuff like this just happens. So let's take a look at the light itself, and I may have some difficulty finding a lens, or not a lens, replacement lamp for it. But the lamp in this thing, and you can see right here is my fingers because I'm pointing it out here, does have some crazing on it, but I believe this is just an F6 dome. Yeah, it is, right there, F6 dome. It's plastic, it's not glass, so I can replace that. That's not a big deal. I'm not too concerned about that. The neat thing about this light is the fact that it has 3 prongs, not 2. As you can see, there's the ground on the right, there's a hot on the left, and there's also a hot on the bottom. There's a 3-prong light. The neat thing about this light is the fact that depending on what option you choose, it goes between a spot to a flood. And I'm trying to see if I can get you guys to see what's under it. Maybe it's a GE 4700 Marine, which my research states is a 100 watt 13 volt bulb. Actually pretty powerful. This is not a light that I'd really want shined in my face. It actually has very, very good chance of blinding you. Normally these lights are used in marine applications. However, I've also seen some of these lights used in aviation applications as well. The condition of this thing is actually really good. As you can see, I gave it a quick rundown, like cleaning, wipes, so on and so forth. The beacon itself is in really good shape, minus the crazing in the dome, which is just a replacement dome. It's really not that big a deal. And the control box, which this part here, the bigger box, is actually installed. This part here just pops off. All I have to do is go like this, and now I have kind of like a CB almost. The handheld piece I can actually control. And as you can see, if I spin this around, well, if I come down to the control box and spin it around, sorry, you can see it moving. And I can control it using this, if you want to call it remote control. The controls on it are actually pretty basic. Up, obviously, up, down, down, counterclockwise, CCW, and then you have clockwise. The really cool thing is the fact that if you look at the display here, these actually light up. That will light up in the middle if the light's on, but these light up depending on where your light is facing. So without having to look at where the light's facing, you can tell which direction, obviously, by the colors of those arrows. As it goes up, move that over, and just so you can see it working, it's actually kind of neat. So right now the light's actually facing straight up. I'm not really looking to do that. I'm actually going to aim it down. And you can also see, this is actually pretty cool too as I'm looking at it. It's definitely a dual filament light. See if I can get a better picture of it. There's 2 filaments in there, one and then the other, obviously for the two two different posts that come to the light. So let's take a look at how this functions. So we're down here at the controls. You can adjust this one way, spot, flood, and then you can turn the lamp on actually by switching the red button. That will light it up. That's actually flood mode. As you can see, the yellow goes on. The other one, spot mode. So now what does that look like? Well, it's not nighttime, obviously. So it's going to be hard for me to actually give you a representation of how well this works. But let's see if I can actually do. So I'm going to do flood first. Aim this down a little bit. And I'm going to aim at my wall. And again, it's daytime, so it kind of sucks. But there's your floodlight, right? So now if I go back to the unit and knock it over to spot, it's a lot more pronounced, as you can see. So you can see it actually goes, I'm almost wondering if it changes the output of the light itself. Even though it says flood and spot, it's not really a flood light. And there you go, there's spot. So the light kind of disperses a little bit depending on what element is actually lit up. But other than that, I think this is actually a pretty neat little find. I can replace the lamp or lens at any point. The Federal still makes the lenses, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Again, it operates off 120 volts, so it's an AC household. I mean, obviously, you could take this thing apart and install this in a vehicle, but due to the historical significance of this and being a dealer demonstrator, I would leave this as is. I'm not going to play with it. I'm not going to take it apart. I mean, the uncommonness of finding just a Visibeam, let alone a complete Visibeam with a control box and everything, is almost unheard of. I've had to find two of these so far in the works that I've done, and the first one I came across pretty quickly. The second one that I came across took me some time and was very pricey. So if you do happen to come across one of these guys, hold on to it. I mean, this is kind of neat. For me itself, it's not really something that I generally get super into, but it's a good discussion piece. This is something where if I meet some people and talk about it, they're usually very interested as to what it works and how it works, how it functions, and they want to check it out. So that's it. Again, happy 4th of July there, YouTube. Hope everybody else's holiday is doing well. I know I said this earlier in the video. And stay safe out there. Have a good day.